Okay, I'm gonna try to do this in 3 minutes. So, something on my mind has been heavy. My ex, Cameron Shultz. I say his name because I want to alert other people of who he is and what he's about. Especially girls, because I really don't want another girl to have to go through what I went through. He's coming back to the county I live in. He moved away to another county, and now he's coming back, and he's moving even closer than he was before. Before he was like 3 or 4 towns over, and now he's 2 towns over. So what this guy has done to me, the beginning of our relationship was great. It was just like any normal relationship. Everything's amazing. He was sweet. He was comforting. And I couldn't tell that he was fucking evil. During the beginning of the relationship, I was hurting myself, not only there, but also on my legs. And eventually, my problems didn't matter to him. He would pretty much make my problems into his problems and be like, look at my cuts, look at what I've done, blah, 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 you know, just turning it completely around, making it about him. And then at one point, his quote-unquote best friend was getting handsy with me, touching my knee and shit when we were looking for him. I don't have enough time to tell you the whole story there, but we were looking for him, and his best friend was, like, touching my knee and shit and flirting with me, and I was honest with him about that, but he got mad at me for it. He started punching his fucking steering wheel and yelled at me because I told him that his best friend touched my knee. So at this point, I'm scared, and because of my cutting problem, I don't feel safe going to him about it. I started going to my ex, and at first I did lie about it, but I did tell him the truth. Fast forward to almost summertime, just before he gets this job at an apple orchard. I wanted to go get my daughter. She was just a baby. I was doing joint custody with my baby daddy, and I wanted to go get her a little early. I miss my baby. I'm trying not to cry right now, but in the driveway of his best friend's, in my car, he is screaming at me at the top of his lungs because I want to leave. He pulls out his 9mm Glock. He used to call it Hubert Cumberdale. And he threatened to frame me for murder. He shoved the gun in my hands, holding his hands around mine, with my finger on the trigger and the barrel to his head, threatening to frame me for murder. Just because I wanted my baby. Okay, while that's uploading, part 2. He did that on 3 different occasions. One of the occasions, actually, we were in the woods, and he didn't shove the gun in my hands. He just hugged me close to him and threatened to splatter his brains and blood all over me, again framing me for murder. After the 3rd time, I did leave him, but I ended up coming back because I thought I loved him, and I was wrong. He swore to me up and down that he didn't move on, but he very much did. And the person he moved on to, it pisses me off to this day. His boss at the apple orchard. He admitted to me that they had sex when they went to the casino that night. She picked up his phone. And in no way, shape, or form did he ever defend me against her. Even though I was definitely in the right. Because he is the one that said, I love you to me. And I just said, I love you too. And when I called him, I wanted to talk to him. But she wouldn't let me do that. So then I should have stayed away from him after that. But I didn't. And I'm trying to think of the next abusive thing that he did. There was a lot of mental and emotional abuse, but like it was mostly yelling for me wanting to go home. It was mostly accusations of me cheating on him when I really wasn't. Accusations of me being places that I wasn't just because my location would veer off to across the street or to the neighbor's house or something like that. I don't know why my location did that shit, but I wasn't anywhere. And my neighbors are my fucking aunt, okay? And I have no business being across the street, so I wasn't doing shit. Like, But anyway, fast forward to, how about I talk about the motorcycle accident? He left me up at the fucking hospital all alone for 2 nights. 2 fucking nights. I was alone. I kept telling him, just bring my car up here. Just bring my car up here and stay with me. Just stay with me, please. I was begging him to fucking stay with me. I was in the hospital alone, away from my family, and I had nobody. But the day I got released, he finally came with my car, and we went home. I'm gonna have to make a part 3 for the next part, so please stay tuned or whatever. Go check my profile for part 1. Okay, part 3, and this is giving me really bad PTSD, so I'm struggling to not cry. But, after the motorcycle incident, I didn't talk to him again until December. And that's when we got together for the last time. And, I had a job. I was doing good. But the mental and emotional abuse came back. If I was working and wanted to go home, that wasn't an option because then I was accused of cheating on him. Or I simply just didn't want him. And, that wasn't the case. I was just really fucking tired. I worked, I don't remember what shift it was considered because they didn't have technically a third shift, but I went in about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't get out until, I can't remember if it was 9 or 10. I was only part-time at this factory. One of the things that, did it in for me, the last straws, I guess, he finally laid hands on me. We were house sitting for friends, and it was like the beginning or middle of March. He left because he was irritated over my child crying. Which, sure, that's probably the best move, but he lied to me, saying that he could handle being around my daughter. He said he could handle the whining, he could handle being there, he wants to step up, he wants to become a family and all this shit. But later that night, after I put my daughter to bed, he wouldn't turn his TV down, and it woke her up, so I got mad, and I was gonna hit him with my bong. I know that's wrong, but I didn't. He stopped me. He told me not to. And then he packed up all his shit and started to leave, and I kept telling him to leave because I had every right to tell him to leave. They told me I did. And right before he left, because I wouldn't talk to him, I had my baby in my arm, and he grabbed me by my throat and pinned me down. I knew right then and there it was abuse.